Is Jax Taylor accusing Brittany Cartwright of cheating or of just having a new secret man? We also have Dina Manzo, whose ex has now been found guilty of, remember when they broke in and they assaulted her, and then Caroline Manzo was like, no, her ex-husband would never do that. Well, it's now played out in court, and it looks like Dina Manzo was on the right side of history and Caroline Manzo was not. And we just got an announcement for the 3rd season of The Traitors here in the US. Let's get it. You're listening to No Filter with Zack Peter, your go-to source for all the latest pop culture and reality TV tea, served fresh all week long. Now, let's dive in. What's going on, guys? Welcome on in, welcome on in, welcome on in. Let's get it. Okay, so we have a lot that we're going to break down today. Should we start with the Valley and Jax and Brittany? Because Jax is just messy. If there's anything that we got, though, from this finale of the Valley, it's that Jax just doesn't know how to keep up with his own lies. But before we dive into that, I wanted to let everybody know there's a new episode of The Pop Report that is out right now. That is my new podcast, me and entertainment reporter Andy Lawani from What's Trending. We have a new show together. It's called The Pop Report. We have new episodes that drop every Wednesday and Friday. And so it's all beyond reality TV, celebrity news. Today, we're talking about Zachary Quinto and his meltdown where he made a hostess at a restaurant cry. James Corden saving all the snakes on a plane by taking selfies. Demi Moore dating Joe Jonas. We have some music news. Lots going on that we'll be discussing on the Pop Reports. There's a new episode out now. If you haven't tuned in, you can catch it on all podcast platforms, or you can watch it on watch it on YouTube, and you'll be able to watch them on Spotify soon. And then Disaster Daters, all me and my co-host Jeff's worst dating and sex blunders. That'll be coming back for season 2 later this month. So get ready for it. Be sure to subscribe to the Pop Report and Disaster Daters. And if you're enjoying No Filter, be sure to hit that like button while you're watching this live right now, or the rebroadcast. Okay, let's talk about the Valley, because I watched it this morning. I tried to watch it last night. And I always do this every night. I don't know if anybody can relate, but it comes on at 9:00, and for me that's just late, right? At 8:50, I was like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna power through it. And then I started the first 30 seconds. I was like, nah, I can't do this. I do not. I'm tired. I'm up at 4. I'm tired. So I watched it this morning, and it was a good finale. Listen, Zach and Jasmine, even though they're not main cast members, know how to bring it. I don't love that the cast still is trying to ice out Kristen, so much so that Brittany had to have her own group scene with all the girls where she talks about her fallout of her marriage with Jax. And then she has a separate scene with Kristen and Zach. And I'm like, why does she have to have separate scenes where she's talking about the same thing? Whatever. Listen, Kristen is definitely a star, and the star of, she's the star of The Valley. Okay. Can't leave Kristen out, and I'm excited. Oh my goodness, someone's turning 93 today. Steph H, congrats on turning 93. Sheesh. Ooh. Oh, it's gonna be 93 as in the weather. Sorry, 93 degrees, not 93 in age. Sorry. But yeah, so the Valley's killing it. New season's supposed to be picking up filming again this summer, which I'm excited for. All of the cast is the same. As of right now, they have no intentions of bringing any Vanderpump Rules people over to the Valley full time, but definitely gonna keep some cameos. So we can expect to see little pop-ins from Sheena and Lala and probably Schwartz again. We'll see. TBD. Okay, so Jax Taylor, after the finale last night, went out and tweeted. Jax. Homie just can't help himself. He went out and tweeted, "You may want to ask Brittany who she's been sleeping with for the past 4 months," which implies that there's someone, I don't know, is she sleeping with Max Boyens? Like, what's going on? Who is she sleeping with? Is he insinuating that she may have been having an affair because there were cheating rumors about Jax, and now he seems to be coming after Brittany? I want to know who she's been banging for the last 4 months. Has she been banging Kristen? Were they watching Drive? I want to know. I have questions. Who has Brittany been sleeping with? First of all, Brittany and Jax are separated. So whoever Brittany is sleeping with, she's allowed to and entitled to sleep with them. I mean, unless it's like Rocky, Rocky, Bang, Bang. And if it's Rocky, Rocky, Bang, Bang, then in that case, I'm kind of like, she's been getting around. But I doubt it's Raquel Levis. But who do we think that Brittany is possibly sleeping with? A producer? Jesse? I don't know. They were separated the past 4 months. Plus, we all know he is a bona fide liar. Exactly. It's like we can't believe anything that he says at this point. She's been split with him for more than 4 months, right? Didn't they announce their separation in January? So at this point, it's going into 6 months. So let her get some D. Let Brittany go on Grindr and find herself some D. Okay? Let her do it. I don't care. She's single. She's separated. She's allowed. Well, also, some of you guys are like, well, Kyle's not allowed to sleep with Morgan Wade, but we're going to allow Brittany to go. Like, they're both separated. Even if they're still technically married, they're allowed to go out and get some D. Okay. Joe says, to be fair, if Katie went back for seconds, then it may be likely that Max Boyens gets good D. He gets good D or he gives good D? Danny says, and he is taking no steps to make it better. You do you, Brit. Exactly. So we saw in the finale, they have this final scene between Jax and Brittany, and Jax is like, I don't know, I want to work on this. And Brittany's like, well, if you want to work on this, then you need to change. And then we see Jax, and she's like, did you go to therapy? He's like, oh, I made an appointment yesterday. And she's like, you made an appointment yesterday? Why? Because you knew cameras were going to be up? I love that she's calling him out because of the cameras. And she's like, be real, Jax. Be real. You've been mean to me. And you said I have no friends. And Jax is like, I never said you have no friends. And she's like, Jax, stop lying. Stop lying. I'm glad that her chin thing has worked itself out. She looks great. She's looking nice and snatched. But she's like, stop. Be real, Jax. Be real. And he's just like, I am going to be real. Who are you, Bethany Frankel, telling me I need to be real? How about just be divorced? Are you going to make that decision or not? And she's just like, Jax, you got to change. I got a new boyfriend and you got to change. And he's just like, I am changing. I made a therapy appointment. And she's like, but did you go? And he's like, nah, I didn't go. I forgot. Which he says in his confessional that he didn't go to therapy. And it's like, well, then what was the point of making the therapy appointment if you're not going to actually go? Like, if you're not going to make changes or make an effort to be better, then you know what? I do believe Brittany. But also at the same time, Brittany's been with him. When they play the flashbacks and the montage, when he first brought her around, Jax has always been Jax. Same argument with Carl and Lindsay, right? Lindsay has always been Lindsay for the past 8 years. There's no reason you're all of a sudden going to be like, why are you being a jerk? He's always been a jerk. He's, I'm sure, had moments, but for the most part, like, Jax is Jax, and Jax is always going to be and stay and remain Jax Taylor. You know? What did Joe say? Oh, God. Do I even want to know what Joe said in the live chat? Everyone's reacting to Joe. I don't know what Joe said. Oh, about Max Boyens slinging the good D. Listen, Max is a cutie. I saw him last week when I was at Schwartz and Sandy's. He was behind the bar, and I was like, hey, Max, are you available later? What are you doing later? Katie said you got good D. So do I. Come meet me in the back. Schwartz and Sandy's alley. Let's go. But yeah. Listen, did Katie go back for seconds? If she did, it stopped at some point. But also he was like, oh, I have a conscience and I'm not going to like bang, my best friend's ex-wife because that's kind of weird. But listen, Jax was always a jerk. I'm glad that Brittany has finally woken up to it. But also, one, she should have never married him. But two, I get why she stayed with him this long. And she does kind of explain that in this finale of like, well, now I have Cruz and I thought I could make my family work. And I thought maybe being a dad would help him change. Listen. An old dog ain't gonna learn new tricks, and those bunions are screaming old. Okay, Jax Taylor is not changing. He is who he is. He's gonna stay who he is, and they're just gonna have to navigate this separately. I don't know how, I mean, because we saw that even after their split that they were still working together and taping the podcast together and still doing all of these things together. They went and had Easter together. I don't know how much that's going to be healthy for them. Because I just can't. I I can't with the two of them. I'm ready for her to move on. But the final montage, when they're playing all the old clips of Jax and Brittany together and all the old Vanderpump Rules footage, and then they have that final scene where she just picks up her 2 suitcases and walks out the door, that was heartbreaking. That, because it's like, but we were, even though we knew that they weren't gonna last, we were still, like, invested in their love story, right? We were still invested in the hot mess of their relationship, and now we finally seen it come to where we knew it was ultimately always gonna end up, which, again, is a bummer, but we all saw it coming. And then we also had Jesse and Michelle, which wasn't as compelling because we are not as emotionally invested in Jesse and Michelle's relationship because we haven't known them together as long. We haven't known them as long. However, I don't know if you guys caught this, but in the montage footage or the flashback footage that they were showing of Jax and Brittany's wedding, you can see all of these people. You can see Jesse there. He had no gray hairs, all black. We had Jesse there. We had Janet, Jekyll and Hyde. Janet was there. Jasmine Good was there. I didn't see Zach there, but there were a lot of people that we saw in that finale, which, or not, well, yeah, in the finale, but in the flashbacks of their wedding. And I was like, wow. I mean, I didn't realize they only got married in 2019 and we're only now 2024. So they got married 5 years ago. For some reason, I feel like they were married longer. Jen says the Jesse and Michelle scene broke my heart because of them arguing in front of Isabella. That was a weird, um, that was definitely a weird. Oh, Zach had Zach was part of the wedding, a groomsman. Was he a groomsman or he was on the bride's side though? He was a bridesman for Brittany. Okay, he was a bridesman. Check out Teddy Mellencamp's interview with Jesse. He comes off as likable. He is likable. He's a good guy. He's a likable guy. Anyway, um, the Jesse and Michelle thing. I don't know if I was necessarily like, yes, I didn't love seeing them argue in front of Isabella, but I don't know, their vibe was just way off, Their energy together. It was just kind of weird because it was like they knew that they had to film this scene for the cameras. And you can tell he was trying to be like, okay, do you have this in order? Do you have that in order? Maybe part of it was him trying to make it look like she isn't as active as a mother as she wants to be. And she's like, of course I bought food. Of course there's food at Malibu. Of course this. Like she's just like so over him. He was a little condescending to her. Um, but she was also just like really like cold and standoffish to him. I don't know. Michelle is done, but their vibe was just way off. And she, I think, has been checked out of this relationship for a while. I think she's been talking to a guy for a while. I think, what Kristen was saying was true. I think she's just been checked out. And I know he was sad that the marriage ended because he was still in love and committed, but this is the best thing. Best thing for Brittany, best thing for Jesse is that it's done and over. Hopefully, this will force Jax to grow up. I like that Brittany called him out, and I like that Brittany was like, "Well, you went and the you told TMZ that we were still living together, and you're out here lying to the press." And he's like, "I never said that." And then she plays the clip, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't mean that. I'm sorry." And she's like, "You do this all the time. You just lie, and you don't even remember that you lie. You just say things just come out of your mouth." And she's sick and tired. She's like, "I am sick. I am sick, sick, sick of yo shit. And when I'm not sick, I am tired. I am sick and tired." She said it. Can I just say, Jesse loving chubby girls won my chubby girl heart. Jesse loves chubby girls. Did he say that? I like big buns and I cannot lie. You other brothers can't deny. It's like, I like a little cushion for the pushing. Which, listen, to be fair, when there is good cushion for the pushing, it's like very comfortable. You're not like hitting the hip bones. Like it actually, the cushion for the pushing, listen, I'll just say, goes a long way. It really does. Flex on it. Blah, 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 blah. Flex on it. But okay, so that's Jax and Brittany and the Valley. Good conclusion of the Valley. Looking forward to the next season. Not shocked by Jax and Brittany. It's going to be interesting to see how they navigate this into the new season, being that Jax and Brittany and Michelle and Jesse are both expected to return for the new season, which will be interesting. Hmm. We shall see. Jax's magic dick wore off on Brittany and the cloud has lifted. Do we think that's why she stayed? Was because he had good dick? I mean, come on. Who was the one that said it? Like, no dick is that good. Oh, Anna on Bling Empire. She's like, honey, no dick is that good. Do we believe that? No, I think she was committed to I think Brittany wanted her fairy tale. She wanted her Kentucky Fried Fairy Tale. And she didn't get her Kentucky Fried Fairy Tale because ultimately it all came down. The chicken got cold and it was no good anymore. So men don't like bony butts. Well, Kelly, yeah, that's very true. Men want a tiny waist and a big butt and big titties, but like, contoured and sculpted and perfect, and symmetrical. And yet they come out here with their damn bunions thinking they're hot shit. Hmm. Val says if your partner is too skinny, it's having sex with the bicycle. You don't get to honk the horn. I guess. Yeah. Very true. She got her fairy tale castle wedding. That's true, but she wanted the whole she wanted the whole marriage and it didn't work. Jax and Brittany both reported no sex for 2 years. I think they had like what, sex 3 times within the last 2 years, so, it wasn't like sexy time. I feel like when um that luster wears off, like, and the attraction wears off, like, you still have to have the love at the end of the day, and I think she just grew to resent him. Oh, well, that's why the dick wore off is because he wasn't giving it to her. Now it makes sense. I get it. I get it. But yeah, hopefully, hopefully they're able to work it out for the new season. The new season's gonna have to be interesting. I'm curious how they're going to work Kristen into it because she's kind of on the outs with everyone. They're not going to let Kristen go. There's no way they're going to let Kristen go. But she has Zach, she has Brittany, and she has Jasmine. Jasmine and Zach are not primaries on the show. Maybe they'll be upgraded. I don't know. But Brittany, I don't know if she will have a strong enough. Well, she also has Nia. I like Nia. Nia's sweet. Nia's not messy. She doesn't get into the drama, which is a little boring, but I feel like there's a lot more to peel back with Nia and Danny's relationship. I know everybody loves Danny, but I feel like there's something there. And once we start to peel those layers back, it's going to get messy. And I don't want it to get messy, but that's just what happens with your favorite reality stars. There's always another side. The other shoe always drops. And I think they're probably going to be the next couple in the hot seat. So we shall see. But hopefully you're listening to this right now. Maybe you're on a dog walk, or maybe you're at home cuddling with your kitty. Snap, snap, pat the puss, right? Well, today's episode is sponsored by the ASPCA Pet Health Insurance Program. Woo woo. In today's world, we insure a lot, from cars and homes to cell phones and even our travel plans. But what about insurance for your cat or dog? With ASPCA Pet Health Insurance, you can focus on the care your pet deserves and cover what matters most. The ASPCA Pet Health Insurance Program offers customizable accident and illness plans, making it easier for pet parents like you and me to help your pet get the care they may need. The ASPCA Pet Health Insurance Program has been around for over 18 years, and they've helped more than 600,000 pets during that time. They allow you to customize your plan, helping to ensure that your pet's plan is as unique as they are, because vet bills can really add up, especially when you're least expecting it. It's simple. Use their app to submit a claim and you'll receive reimbursement for eligible vet bills directly into your bank account. To explore coverage, visit aspcapetinsurance.com/nofilter. That's aspcapetinsurance.com/nofilter. Again, that is pcapetinsurance.com/nofilter. This is a paid advertisement. Insurance is underwritten by either Independence American Insurance Company or United States Fire Insurance Company and produced by PTZ Insurance Agency Limited. The ASPCA is not an insurer and is not engaged in the business of insurance. On that note, I also want to give a shout out to my pals at Dry Farm Wines. You know, I love me some hangover-free wine. We want to indulge without that gnarly wine headache the next day. And Dry Farm Wines, I never get that gnarly headache when I drink Dry Farm Wines because they don't have any toxic additives. They don't have the junk ingredients. They don't have added dyes. It's sugar-free, low-carb, keto-friendly, paleo-friendly, third-party tested for purity. It's vegan. It's delicious. It's a curated box per your preferences that gets shipped straight to your door. It's pre-vetted, good, clean wine. You can get your first bottle for just a penny when you go to dryfarmwines.com/Zack. That's dryfarmwines.com/ZACK. dryfarmwines.com/Zack. Get your first bottle for just a penny. dryfarmwines.com/Zack. Okay. Woot woot. Okay. Let's see. Let's talk about this Dina Manzo stuff, okay? Because that is cray cray. So as we know, there was a home invasion back a few years ago, right? With Dina Manzo, who you may remember from Real Housewives of New Jersey. She was on season 1, and then she was in part of season 2. She wasn't at the season 2 reunion because she didn't want to come back for season 2, but she didn't want to come back for season 2 because, sorry, I just read Kelly's comment in the live chat. She said, "Enough with dick. Women don't climax from penetration." Kelly. Okay. Kelly sounds like she what is that lyric from the Nicki Minaj song where Lil Wayne is like she act like she need dick in her life. Whoever is hitting ain't hitting it right because she act like she need dick in her life. But yeah, sorry, girl. Dina Manzo. She was on season 1 of Real Housewives of New Jersey. She's her sister is Caroline Manzo. Her brother is Chris Laredo, who is married to Jacqueline Laredo. Remember, it was all, one big family tree. And she left. She didn't want to do season 2, but she was contractually obligated. So they ended up having her film a couple of scenes for season 2, and then they stretched them out over the first few episodes of season 2, but she wasn't at the reunion. She has since left the show, wants nothing to do with the show. She briefly came back for, what was it, season 6? When Teresa before Teresa had gone to prison, right? With the twins, remember they had the 2 twins that they brought in, and they had Amber Marchese and her crazy husband, Jim Marchese. That season, Dina came back. She wasn't very good on the show. Don't know why she came back. So, that said, then there was this assault that occurred. She was with her boyfriend, and someone broke in and assaulted her, beat her up. Or I guess it was assumed that it was related to her ex-husband. And then Caroline Manzo came out in defense of the ex. She wrote a character letter for him. Dolores Cantania also came out in support of the ex and wrote a character letter for him, not supporting Dina Manzo, who believed that her ex was behind this. They ended up going to court, and he has now been found guilty in the assault for hire crime. So here, I'll read you some of the court documents. Let's see. Defendant. Oh, hold on. I need to zoom in on that. My eyes. The print is very fine. But let's see. I know Bravo Docket also did a good job of breaking it down as well. So just shout out to the Bravo Docket. Okay, let's see here. Defendant John Perna was a made member of the Lucchese crime family and had a crew. Accomplice 1 was an associate of the Lucchese family, or the Lucchese crime family, and was part of defendant John Perna's crew. As an associate, accomplice 1 was expected to carry out the orders of the defendant John Perna to commit criminal acts, including drug distribution, aggravated assault, arson, and wire fraud. Defendant Thomas Manzo, upset that victim 1 had an ongoing relationship with his former wife, planned to have a violent assault committed on victim 1 and would leave a permanent facial scar. So Thomas Manzo named here, was the one who was married to Dina Manzo. Remember, it was rumored or speculated that it was that she was dating this new guy, so part of the assault was to beat up her new boyfriend. In or about early 2015, defendant Thomas Manzo, knowing defendant John Perna's membership in the enterprise and intending that defendant John Perna would use that membership in furtherance of his request, offered to hold the reception for free at a deeply discounted rate if defendant John Perna would commit or cause to be committed a violent assault on victim 1. So there was a wedding, right? There was some sort of reception that was being held. I believe it was at the Brownstone, and Tommy Manzo said, "I'll give you a discount on this celebration as long as you carry out this assault against my ex-wife and her new man." That was what was accused, or that was what was alleged. Those were the accusations. And now here we are. So Tommy Manzo was indicted for hiring maid member of the Lucchese crime family, John Perna, and an accomplice to assault Dina's now husband in exchange for a discounted wedding held at the Brownstone. Yep. Okay. Moving on. The attack was committed by Perna and his accomplice with a slapjack. So on or about July 18, 2015, based upon information provided by defendant Thomas Manzo, defendant John Perna, and accomplice 1 located victim 1 in his vehicle and eventually followed victim 1 to a strip mall in Passaic County, New Jersey. Passaic County, New Jersey. At the strip mall, defendant John Perna and accomplice 1 attacked victim 1 in the parking lot. Defendant John Perna used a dangerous weapon named a slapjack with the intent to inflict serious permanent injury on victim 1. Perna held his wedding reception at the Brownstone 1 month later. Remember, that was the exchange. Defendant Thomas Manzo was a co-owner of a restaurant and wedding venue at which defendant John Perna was scheduled to hold a wedding reception on August 16, 2015. Many of the guests invited to the reception were members of the Lucchese crime family. Imagine being like, yeah, I just want a discount for my wedding at the Brownstone in fucking, wasn't it in Patterson? Isn't the Brownstone in Patterson? Or it's right next to Patterson, right? Oh man, imagine going that far just for a discount. Like that had been one hell of a discount. Perna pled guilty in December 2020 to committing a violent crime in aid of racketeering activity and received a 2.5-year sentence. He was freed in August 2023, so he was just let out last summer. Conditioned on the understanding specified below, this office will accept a guilty plea from Perna to 1 count of the indictment. Count 1 charges that from at least as early as May 1st, 2015 until at least August 31st of 2015, Perna did knowingly and purposefully, for the purpose of gaining entrance to and maintaining and increasing the position of accomplice 1 in a criminal enterprise, aid and abet in assault of victim 1 with the dangerous weapon, specifically a slapjack, contrary to NJSA, yada, 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 in violation, yada, yada, yada. Imprisonment. The defendant is hereby committed to the custody of the United States Bureau of Prisons to be imprisoned for a term of 30 months. This is Perna. On a date no earlier than mid-September, the defendant will surrender himself to the institution designated by the Bureau of Prisons. The court recommended that the Bureau of Prisons designate a family as near and as possible to the defendant's home address. Supervised release. Upon release from imprisonment, you will be on supervised release for a term of 3 years. So he's currently on supervised release. Perna, because he got out last summer in August. Within 72 hours of release from custody, the Bureau of Prisons, you must report in prison to the probation office in the district in which you are released. While on supervised release, you must not commit another federal, state, or local crime, must refrain from unlawful use of controlled substances, and must comply with mandatory and state conditions that have been adopted by this court and set forth. Based on information presented, you are excused from the mandatory drug testing provision. However, you may be requested to submit drug testing during the period of supervision if the probation officer determines a risk of substance abuse. You must cooperate in the collection of DNA as directed by the probation officer. If this judgment imposes a fine, special assessment, costs, or restitution obligation, it is a condition of supervised release that you pay any such fine, assessments, cost, and restitution that remains unpaid at the commencement of the term supervised release. And then Tommy pled not guilty to his charges. They went to trial. Federal jury found him guilty of conspiracy, falsifying and concealing documents, and committing a violent crime in an aid of racketeering activity. Whew, they found him. So, count 1, violent crime in aid of racketeering, assault with a dangerous weapon. Guilty. Count 2, conspiracy to commit assault with a dangerous weapon in aid of racketeering and assault resulting in serious bodily injury. We, the jury, find him guilty. Count 3, falsifying and concealing records related to a federal investigation. We, the jury, find him guilty, Your Honor. So the concealing of documents charges for falsifying and concealing records related to the federal investigation of the assault. Tommy failed to turn over relevant documents in response to those subpoenas and deliberately submitted a false document regarding the wedding reception to the government along with false certification. In November 2019, agents with the FBI executed a search warrant at the Brownstone restaurant, seized invoices for the August 2015 Perna wedding reception, and other relevant documents were not previously turned over. Tommy faces up to 46 years in prison. He'll be sentenced on October 15th. So, as we know, both Caroline Manzo and Dolores Cantania, not Teresa Giudice, but Dolores and Caroline have both they've both vouched for Tommy, Dina's ex. They I don't know. Well, it's interesting because it looks like there were 2 attacks, right? There was the attack specifically of her ex, but then there was also the attack at their home. So it from these court documents, it doesn't appear that the I mean, it's possible that the second assault of Dina and her husband, remember she had to get like a nose job. I believe her current husband, who was her boyfriend at the time, he was assaulted twice. And the accusation was that it was in an exchange for a discount on a reception at the Brownstone. And Caroline came out and she said, nope, I'm defending him. That's not him. That's not his character. That's not who Tommy is. Same thing with Dolores. But it's interesting because this all is related to the Brownstone. The Brownstone is the establishment that is run by Caroline's husband. So it's a family affair for sure. Somebody I saw in the comments, I forgot which account it was. I saw one of the Bravo accounts. Somebody commented that it's interesting that Teresa is still so close to Dolores, considering Dolores was defending Tommy Manzo, who, was over here involved with all this, racketeering and conspiracy charges. And so people are like, how can Dolores still be friends with Tommy? How can Teresa still be friends with Dolores, considering Dolores, was working on the opposite side of Dina, and Dina is such good friends with Teresa. And Teresa's like, I'm still good friends with Dina. I love Dina. But it is crazy. Dina and Teresa had a silent falling out, didn't they? They did, and then it seemed that they had made up. Part of the rumors were related to Louis, because they were saying that like Dina didn't like Louis, and that was part of the reason they had a falling out. But it seems like they're okay now because Teresa's like, we're good, we're friends. I love Dina. Maybe part of it also had to do with Teresa still being friends with Dolores, because that's not loyalty, right? Teresa's always talking about loyalty, loyalty. So I don't know. Brittany says, am I the only one that thinks it's a little weird that sisters married brothers? Caroline and Dina married brothers. Yeah, it is kind of weird, right? They each married Manzo brothers, and she became Dina Manzo and Caroline became Caroline Manzo. They were previously Larita, right? Dina Larita and Caroline Larita. Interesting. If you're in New Jersey and you dated Tommy, Bobby, or Mikey, this is the end result. Good to know, Nikki. Thanks for the heads up. I'm glad that there was some justice served. That's a lot of time that he's now facing. I don't know if he'll end up facing all 46 years. He was denying all of this, but it's crazy that they went into the Brownstone, found the documents. I wonder if this was like an under the table sort of deal, or if he was falsifying documents to prove that, I'm assuming that he didn't give him any sort of a discount, or that the discount was somehow legitimate in some way and had no relation to him beating up Dina's man. That's kind of like weird and unhinged. Like, it's not even like a bad drug deal gone wrong. It's like a, scorned ex that wants to beat up I don't know. It's crazy. But Looks like Caroline Manzo was once again on the wrong side of history. Dun 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 dun. We shall see. Not looking good for her. I know Brandy recently spoke out again about Caroline, and Camille recently came out and said, Brandy was like, I'm tired of like this narrative of me assaulting Caroline. Like, it's not true. It's not real, blah, blah, blah. And then Camille was just on an event the other day, and she said that she wants everybody to see the new season or this hidden season of Ultimate Girls Trip. She's like, it was really good. It was really fun. We had a lot of laughs. Like, yes, there was drama, but for the most part, like it was a fun, enjoyable girls trip. I mean, and come on, what a great cast. Brandy Glanville, Vicky Gumbelson, Phaedra Parks. Um, it's just like, what a great cast. Eva ended up being a lot more fun than I expected when she was on the Ex-Wives Club. Who else did we have? We had Gretchen. Gretchen's a good time. We had Alex. Alex is kooky. We had, I mean, Caroline. Camille can be a good time when you get her dancing and all vibed up. I mean, I don't know if now the network would even want to air it, considering they have such bad blood with Brandy and Caroline. And I don't believe Brandy and Caroline ever did their confessionals. And it just doesn't even seem like the network wants anything to do with Brandy anymore. I think had Brandy just been patient, eventually everything would have come to light. But I also understand Brandy wanting to fight for her innocence and feeling like the network really left her out to dry. But I understand their priority is protecting their bottom line and their priority is covering their asses. And even if Brandy has to be hung out to dry, they're going to make sure they do everything they can to protect the house. And unfortunately, Brandy just wasn't, was collateral damage in that. Okay. So that said, should we talk about the Traitors? I mean, with Camille, I think they should release Morocco at some point. But we'll see. I mean, and they can also just release the disclaimers and, there's a way to edit it in a way that they can still release it all. But I mean, I guess they have to officially settle their lawsuit with Caroline. And I'm assuming, I know Brandy was threatening to sue them, but I don't think she actually filed a lawsuit against them. She filed a complaint, but I don't think there's an actual lawsuit from Brandy. So as long as there's no ongoing litigation from Brandy or Caroline, then the network does have. I know they were trying to get Caroline's lawsuit thrown out by saying, hey, we have all the evidence. This is what was done. These are the protocols that we followed. This is what we have recorded down. There's no evidence to support Caroline's claims. So we'll see. It made sense that they would be waiting to finalize the lawsuit with Caroline. Yeah, they're hoping that the case gets dismissed. I don't think there's been a judgment made as of yet on whether or not the lawsuit will be moving forward, but Caroline is still pursuing that lawsuit against the network. And they're hoping that it gets dismissed. Traitors. 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 Call me. Call me. Sorry, I know people hate when I sing. So I was correct in guessing. This is my own guessing before it started leaking online that Sandoval was going to be on the Traitors, and he is. But so this is the confirmed, announced cast of the Traitors. We have Tom Sandoval from Vanderpump Rules, Robin Dixon, who has been fired from Real Houses of Potomac and is now available, Dolores Cantania, who is out here defending criminals and on Jersey, and since that's likely going to be put on pause, she's available. We have from Bachelor Nation, Wells Adams. He's currently married to Sarah Hyland, who's the girl Ariana stole the job from Love Island from. I heard that she went to dinner with the producers and was trying to, or her team, maybe not Ariana specifically, but at least her team was trying to pitch Ariana as to be the new host of Love Island. And then boop, next thing you know, Sarah Hyland's out of a job. Let's see. Does it tell us who these people actually are? I mean, I have their names here, but I had one that mentioned wherever Traitors cast, because I want to know what shows they're from. Okay, let's see. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, Tom Sandoval from Vanderpump Rules. Chriselle Staus from Selling Sunset. Q. I mean, I wish they would have had what's her name? Not Chriselle, Christine Quinn. That I mean, listen, Chriselle I think is a good one, but I definitely love me some Christine Quinn. Uh Burly Girl says, love the Pop Report. Check it out, y'all. Lots of fun. Yes, guys, if you haven't tuned into my new show, The Pop Report, it drops new episodes on Wednesdays and Fridays. Me and entertainment reporter Andy Lawani break down everything outside of reality TV. So all the latest celebrity news we have. Today on the show, we're talking about Zachary Quinto and his meltdown and making a hostess cry at a restaurant in Toronto. Alec Baldwin and Hilaria Baldwin and their new show. Their new reality show, which is interesting considering he has the Rust trial. What else do we talk about? James Corden trying to save all the people on a plane. Demi Moore dating Joe Jonas. Lots of fun stuff. Lots of good stuff. Okay, back to the Traitors season 3. So we had Sandoval, we had Chriselle, we have Sam, Brittany's ex. It's Brittany, bitch. He's a hottie. The fact that she went and was banging was the janitor or one of the cleaning crew guys who's like a criminal. The fact that she's banging him over Sam. I don't know all the details of her marriage with Sam, but still, my goodness, he's a cutie. Like, he's like, I'm not dating Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs anymore. He's like, I'm moving on. We have Bob the drag queen from RuPaul's Drag Race. Back in 2016, he won season 8. Okay. We have Gabby Windy. She's from The Bachelor. Back in 2022, she became the Bachelorette alongside Rachel. Oh, this was the double Bachelor. Remember that season? So we have Gabby from The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. We have Wells Adams, who's married to Sarah Hyland. He was on The Bachelorette. He did Bachelor in Paradise. He became a bartender for the NBC reality show. Okay. Bob Harper. Oh my God. Remember he had a heart attack? And he used to do The Biggest Loser with Jillian Michaels. Could you imagine Jillian Michaels on the Traitors? They need to get I'm sure they've made offers to her. If they booked Bob Harper, then I'm pretty sure they've tried to book Jillian. Let's see. Who else do we have? Dorinda Medley, Dorinda Deadly. She's going to be slurring her way to the end. You go, Dorinda, from Housewives of New York. We have Chanel Ayan, who's from Dubai. I think Chanel's so Tom Sandoval from Vanderpump Rules. Aside from Ariana Madix, the biggest star on Vanderpump Rules. He's the biggest villain. He's the most hated on Vanderpump right now, but arguably in the top 3 biggest stars from Vanderpump Rules. If you're going to get a Vanderpump Rules cast member, you want Ariana or you want Tom because it's going to have the most visibility and eyes. I know that's not a popular thing to say because everyone's going to be like, oh, we hate Tom Sandoval, but it's like, yes. Tom Sandoval. So Tom Sandoval's a great choice. Dorinda Medley, great choice. What other? Chriselle, great choice. I would have preferred Christine Quinn. Chanel Ayan. I think if you're gonna dip into new Bravo, Housewives, Dubai, sure. If you're gonna dip into that, I think you're either gonna want Chanel or you're gonna want Caroline Stanbury. And personally, even though I do enjoy Caroline Stanbury, I think Chanel is probably the biggest star of Dubai outside of Caroline Stanbury. I think Caroline Stanbury is only like the star because she came from, what was it, Ladies of London? So yeah, we have Dolores Catania. Cute. Would have preferred Teresa Giudice. I would have even preferred Melissa Gorga just in terms of like star quality, star power. Because listen, I know a lot of people don't like Melissa or they don't like Teresa, but those are the 2 biggest, stars of Jersey. Like it or not, the show is always centered around their family drama. They're Batman and the Joker. You may not like the Joker, but Batman and the Joker go together. They are, the anchors, the protagonist and antagonist of the show. Depending on who you cast as the protagonist or the antagonist, they still are the stars of Jersey. Period. End of story. But Dolores Catania, sure, she's good at spotting criminals, but she's good at spotting them and defending them. So let's hope she's a traitor. I do like Dolores. She's very lovely. Robin Dixon. Okay. Okay. I think Karen Huger's probably the better option if we're going to go. Or Monique Samuels would have been. I think Monique is the real star. Monique is great. Robin, Robin's just kind of boring. I know Queens of Bravo loves Robin, and she had what do they call her? The bobbleheads. What did they call her fans? Robin heads. Robin something. The Bobbins something. They call themselves something. Robin's just kind of boring. I feel like she's gonna sleep through some of it. She's probably gonna find a new mistress for Juan Dixon while she's out there. I don't know, but how is she gonna spot a traitor if she can't even spot the women that her man be sleeping with? Like, come on. Not bobbin heads. What are they called? Robin heads? What are they called? What did the people? Oh, Monique turned it down. I'm not surprised that Monique. I would have loved Monique on the show more than Robin. I think she would have been a better choice. I'm not mad at listen, Robin, of the ones that are no longer on the show, right? Because obviously, like Karen Huger couldn't do it, Ashley Darby couldn't do it, Giselle couldn't do it, because they're currently filming. So they're, so yeah. But yeah, like someone said, if she can't find the hotel receipt, how is she going to find a traitor? She literally lives with the traitor, and you're going to expect her to go and spot the traitors in the castle? Come on. She can't even find the traitor in her own damn castle. Then we have Brittany Haynes. Brittany was on seasons 12 and 14 of Big Brother. And then she was on the holiday spinoff Reindeer Games. She's besties with Ariana Grande's brother, Frankie Grande. I don't know her, but okay. Danielle Reyes, who was a runner-up on Big Brother season 3. Wow, when was that? In 1992? But she also competed in season 7 of Reindeer Games. What the fuck is Reindeer Games? I didn't even know that was a show. People watch that? What was that? A Big Brother? What? People watch Reindeer? First of all, that sounds like a terrible Netflix spinoff of baking cakes or something. They said friends with Ariana Grande's brother. Yeah, that's her claim to fame. She's friends with Ariana Grande's brother. Don't get mad at me. Get mad at Cosmopolitan. They wrote it. They're like, what is her claim to fame? She's friends with Ariana Grande's brother. Baby Reindeer Games. That would be more interesting if it was Baby Reindeer Games. I just started watching that. I saw like a first episode and a half over the weekend. Then we have Carolyn Weiger. Carolyn was the second runner-up. Oh, and season 44 of Survivor. Wow. That's a claim to fame. I was the runner-up on season 44 of Survivor. What season are we on? Like 82 now? I don't know if I would want that to be my claim to fame. I mean, there are some people that were breakouts, right? Like Johnny, what was his name? The one that was on House of Villains, because there was Johnny Bananas, and then there was Johnny, why is his name linked? The one that his grandma fake died, remember? And he's like, oh my God, my grandma died, but she didn't die. Oh, Reyes is a great Big Brother player. Yeah, she was great enough to land on Reindeer Games, so good for her. Oh, we're on season 50. Oh, okay, so Carolyn was on just a few years ago. We have Dylan Efron. What? We have Dylan Efron? Johnny Fairplay. Yes, Johnny Fairplay was the one from Survivor that killed his grandma, but she didn't really die, and he faked her death. Yes. Didn't the first Survivor winner die recently? Why would you say that? That's such a downer. You're like Vicky Gumbelson when she's randomly just it's going to be sad one day when we all die. It's like, what? Why would you go there? They could have had Trisha Paytas. Trisha Paytas would have been a great choice. Trisha Paytas, Spencer and Heidi Pratt. Come on, bring some real stars. No way is that Zac Efron's brother. Yes, Dylan Efron. Dylan is known as Zac Efron's little brother. Wow. That's his claim to fame. He appeared in Zach's docuseries Down to Earth. Well, listen, Zac Efron's brother is a lot better than being Ariana Grande's brother's friend. That, if that were my claim to fame, put me out, put me down. I don't want to be known as Ariana Grande's brother's friend. Dylan Efron is not so little. Joe, how would you know? Send receipts. Oh, which by the way, you guys, I did not. Who watches Teen Mom? Did you guys realize that Teen Mom, Tyler, Caitlin and Tyler, remember they were the ones that put their baby up for adoption on 16 and Pregnant, and then they were on Teen Mom, and then they were on Teen Mom OG, and now they do Teen Mom Family Reunion, and then now they're doing Teen Mom OG Next Chapter or something. I don't know. Homeboy has an OnlyFans. Did you not know? Like, I did not know that. I thought they had a t-shirt line, but they now have an OnlyFans. And Caitlin manages Tyler's OnlyFans, and she chooses what photos he gets to put out there, right? So at first I was kind of like, oh, okay, well, if she gets to like vet what he's actually like putting out there, then he must not be putting anything out there. And then I saw on Twitter, Bravo by Brett, and that's the only reason I'm outing him is because he tweeted this. Jeff from Disaster Daters, Jeff and I were tweeting about it, and because we were like, wow, I can't believe he has an OnlyFans. And then Brett was like, look at here is a video from his OnlyFans. It was posted on Twitter, and homie is, slanging D. I'm like, wow. So Caitlin's over there monitoring which, D he's putting out there. Isn't that weird? Like, would you ever manage your man's OnlyFans? That's kind of weird to me, right? Or am I cuckoo crazy? Like, I mean, I guess it's your man and like you get the D, but like, I don't know. He's not, is he like a twink? No, he's not a twink anymore. He's like buffed up. He's like a beefcake now. And he be swinging his little ding, or not even little, he be swinging that ding-a-ling all around town. But I do think it was a little fucked up that they dragged Farrah Abraham, and so did MTV. Remember when Farrah was when she had her sex tape and she was doing adult entertainment, and then they were like, oh, Farrah Abraham, we can't have you on the network if you're doing this. Now here we are a few years later where Caitlin and Tyler are able to pimp out their OnlyFans. And I saw that even Morgan Freeman, who's one of the executive producers on the Teen Mom series, he was even tweeting about it as well. And they were talking about it on one of the Teen Mom reunion shows, the family reunion show where they bring a bunch of teen moms together and they go on vacation or whatever. I was like, that's kind of fucked up that Tyler a few years later gets to have an OnlyFans and MTV is like encouraging it. But Farrah Abraham, you don't support women. Oh my gosh, I want my man to get an OnlyFans and have me manage it. Need that money. Get it, Mrs. Machete. Get it. Mallory says, I mean, if he's enjoying it and Caitlin is, then slang away and make that money. But I agree. They showed Farrah for so long. They shamed Farrah for so long. Exactly. Even Macy came out and was supporting them. And I remember when I had Macy on my show on No Filter, back when all that shit was going down, and Macy came on No Filter and I asked her about it, and she was just like, yeah, I just think that like it's going to be weird having Farrah, promoting her porn career, and then we're going to cut to a scene with me and Bentley. It's like, double standards. You don't support women. I mean, to be fair, Farrah was like putting things in her butt and then in her mouth, and it was like a little too much, but like, listen, double standards. But good for Dylan Efron for joining the Traitors. Nobody really knows him though. Like they know of his like cute face, but Joe, send the receipts. Oh God. Then we have Sierra Miller from Summer House. Of all the people on Summer House, we went with Sierra. Come on. That was a real fumble of the ball. Lindsay Hubbard should have had that spot. Lindsay is the real star of Summer House. I have very little faith. Sierra's going to be like a Sheree, where she's just going to kind of, be confused and skirt by and float through to the end. And see, even Paige would have been better. Like Sierra's not, sorry to say it, but Sierra is not a star. Okay. She's boring. She lays in bed. For anybody that watches Summer House, she lays around in bed all day. The spot should have gone to Lindsay Hubbard. Period. End of story. Sierra was a waste of a seat. We have Nikki Garcia. Nikki's the WWE wrestler. She was on Total Bellas. I remember Nikki. I never watched Total Bellas, but I remember Nikki. We have Jeremy Collins. Jeremy competed on Survivor San Juan del Sur. Oh, did he work for Lisa Vanderpump? And he was eventually crowned the sole survivor of Cambodia before appearing on the series spinoff Winners at War. Didn't even know they had a Survivor San Juan del Sur or a Cambodia or Winners at War. Okay. Good for him. We have, oh, Lord. We have a Lord, and it's not Lord Disick. We have Lord Ivar Mountbatten. Lord Ivar Mountbatten. Lord Ivar is King Charles's second cousin as the first openly gay member of the British monarchy's extended family. We're just casting like so and so's brother and so's second cousin, fourth removed, and like what is this is not an all-star cast, you guys. We're like, oh, we need a gay. He's gay, and he happens to, know King Charles the Third from four cousins over. So let's just throw him in the mix. Okay. Like, what is this? Has this already been filmed? I believe they're currently filming it right now. Okay, well, good for Lord Ivar. Then we have Boston Rob Mariano. Boston competed in season 4, season 8, and season 20 of Survivor and won Survivor Redemption Island in 2011. Well, shit, if he starred in that many seasons, I would hope at some point he would win. It's not a Traitors All Stars, it's a Traitors Same Stars. No, it's a Traitors Potpourri. 6-year-old men who haven't watched these shows, that's who's casting, I guess. Boston Rob. Okay, so we like Boston Rob. He also served as a mentor on Survivor Island of the Idols and competed on Winners at War in 2019. Okay, Boston Rob. We have Tony Vlachos. And Tony is the second person to win 2 seasons of Survivor. He won Cagayan? Survivor Cagayan and Survivor Winners at War. I'm sorry, I'm sounding really uneducated. I don't know where Cagayan is. Cagayan. All right. And that was the last of the cast. I want Omarosa. Omarosa would be great on Traitors. I'm surprised they didn't cast. I'm surprised she got House of Villains but didn't get this. They love their Survivor. Well, there have been, 50 seasons of Survivor that at this point, they, after 50 seasons, they have a lot to pick from. A lot of the Big Brother players aren't. What was it? Do we get like 1 or 2 Big Brother players in here? So we had Survivor, cousin of King Charles III. We have another Survivor, Toto Bellas, Summer House, Zac Efron's brother, Survivor. Okay, so we have Big Brother. We have Danielle Reyes was Big Brother, and then Frankie Grande's friend, Brittany Haynes, was Big Brother. So we have 2 Big Brother players. We have Robin, we have Dolores, we have Chanel, we have Dorinda, we have Bob, we have Wells. Gabby was The Bachelor. So we don't even have a lot of Bachelor people. We have 1 RuPaul person. We have Britney Spears' ex-husband, Chrishell. Tom Sandoval, Chrishell, Dorinda, Wells Adams, Bob Harper. I would say those are some big names. Those are some of the big ones. Everyone else, Frankie Grande's friend is not it. I like Boston Rob. Okay. I'm not familiar with Boston Rob, but okay. I cannot get over the Frankie Grande's friend. Right? That's like so fucked up that's what you're known for, is Frankie or Ariana Grande's brother's friend. Like, Jesus. I would be so mad. I'd be like, Cosmopolitan, what are you doing? Pauly D. We need somebody from Jersey Shore. Even if they threw Snooki in there or a J. Well, in fact, anybody except for Meatball Dina, I would be happy to see. Pauly D, Mike the Situation, Ronnie, Ron, Rob Kardashian. Rob ain't doing anything, though. He doesn't want to be on TV anymore, so Rob wouldn't do it. None of the Kardashians would do it. They're all too big now. But they could get one of the Malikas. I actually think Kim Kardashian would be really good at it. Probably, but she's not doing it. She doesn't like competition shows. Would I be cast as Zach Peters' friend? Yes. Would love Ronnie. Yeah, Ronnie would be great. The Shore crew would cost too much. Maybe they do make a lot of money. But I mean, come on. Well, There you go. That's what I got for you. Those is the Traitors season 3. I believe it comes back later this year. They're currently filming it right now, so we'll see. We shall see. Dun, 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 dun. Ha. God, I switched out my Invisalign today, and it's like, all right, guys, thank you for tuning in to No Fields with Zack Peter. We have another episode tomorrow morning, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday mornings. We stream live here on the YouTube, and then the podcast is available on all podcast platforms. I also have 2 new episodes of the Pop Report that are out this week. On Wednesday, we have one that's out right now, and then we have another one dropping this Friday. So get ready for it. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. If you want to keep up with me, you can follow me at Just Ben Zack all over the internet. Follow the podcast at No Filter with Zack. Again, don't forget to tune into the Pop Report. You can subscribe on YouTube or listen on any podcast platform. If you're enjoying any of the shows, definitely be sure to leave a nice Apple Podcast review because I love them. I love that validation, and I love you. All right, guys, have a great rest of your hump day. Let's get humping. All right, ciao for now. Talk to you tomorrow. I'll see you later. And don't forget, book club. June's book is going to be Crystal Hefner's book. We're going to dive into more of the Playboy drama because she's beefing with Holly Madison. So if you're a member of book club, be sure to pick up your copy of Crystal Hefner's book, read it, and get ready for our upcoming book club live stream. Get ready for it. All right. Ciao for now, guys. Bye.